So over here, basically, someone tried to map out successful versus unsuccessful games, and specifically those genres. So when it comes to idea selection, which is super important nowadays, again, very important, idea selection, idea validation. So this is the kind of thing that can definitely help out quite a bit. So basically over here, so I mapped all the hotspots in the saturation map of Steam games above 100K in estimated revenue. Which, yeah, if you're trying to make a successful game, 100K is definitely a very good quality bar. I mean, if you're working as a solo developer, that's definitely a very good number to aim for. And if you're working as a team, as long as you didn't spend like 2+ years on it, 100K is still definitely decent. So this definitely, I would say, top 5% of games on Steam. You can actually go onto Gamelytic, and if you go onto this one over here, if you look on Steam Analytics, and over here you search for indie, and you look at those, and you can see, so for the games published after, let's say, 2025 until 2026, so 01. So yeah, basically for indie games published since 2025, so for the last one, so we can see over here, so this one is 50 to 200K. So basically the games on that heat map are basically, so this is 3.8% plus 2.5 plus that. So I would say basically the top 5% of Steam. So that's how difficult it is to reach 6 figures with your game. So if you manage to achieve that, congratulations, you are doing really awesome. So yeah, over here, basically this developer, so I was exploring this visualization of Steam game saturation map filtered by 100K revenue and found fascinating to see which genres cluster the most in this heat map. Genre is definitely something that is insanely important nowadays. So yeah, if you want to find success, you definitely do need to pick the right genre. Or rather, if you pick the right genre, things become infinitely easier as opposed to if you pick the bad genre. Like the obvious examples are something like simulator games. Infinitely easier to reach 6 figures as opposed to if you make a Metroidvania, infinitely harder to reach 6 figures. So this dev, I'm not an analyst, so I don't know what conclusions to draw. Okay, nice. Does this mean those genres are more likely to generate revenue above 100K, or does this mean those niches are the most saturated? Curious how others would interpret this. Okay, so let's see this map. And this one definitely quite an interesting map. Okay, so this one is filtered by 100K revenue. So we've got lots of dots, so high saturation, low saturation. So these ones supposedly are like the genres where they've got a ton of games making 6 figures plus. So let's see which ones are the most. So like this one over here, very saturated. Co-op horror, multiplayer survival, puzzle solving, teamwork, jump scares. Okay, again, that makes sense. I would say co-op horror games, kind of like Phasmophobia, those are definitely a hot genre nowadays. So definitely makes sense. That one is quite a hot genre. Now let's see this one over here. This one's also quite hot. Visual novel romance, dating sim. Okay, this one is interesting because the definition of a hot genre, but a hot niche genre. So this one over here, so visual novel, immediately this makes me think not safe for work, which those are actually a very giant genre on Steam. Those games, A, they can be made very quickly, and B, they actually do tend to find quite a lot of success. So if you're someone who likes that sort of stuff, that is actually a good hot genre for you to chase, going not safe for work. Because yeah, over here we can see a lot of those are exactly that. So this one, average revenue of 400K, 300K, all of these around here, around the visual novel, dating sim sort of thing. So yeah, if you make something not safe for work, it can definitely help you find quite a bit of success, because a lot of those do find quite a lot of success. Then this one over here, add-on game, incremental game, average revenue, 380K. So yeah, definitely nice hot genre on Steam. Yep, this is also a genre that I definitely would recommend you make if you want to find success. Incremental games are definitely hot nowadays. Of course, the question, will they remain hot like 6 months from now? I'm not sure, but at least right now, incremental games definitely quite hot. Let's see this other one. RPG, fantasy, turn-based combat. Okay, that one is actually quite interesting. Because that one I would definitely not call this a hot genre, but it is definitely one of those niche genres with a few winners, but the winners are insanely massive winners. So yeah, RPG, turn-based combat, those are usually very complex games, very difficult to make games, definitely not something you can make easily. So yeah, definitely interesting to see it here, but yeah, the games in those, they do find quite a lot of success, but a lot of them do not. So yeah, then we've got what other hotspots over here? Co-op horror, yeah, horror, survival, yeah, basically all of these hotspots are all around the horror genre. So yeah, that one definitely makes quite a lot of sense. Then over here, what is this one? Like just a small bit, sports simulation. Okay, you've got just a few winners, so definitely not a lot of them, definitely not a saturated genre, but quite a few of those actually do find success. I do wonder, is this basically just FIFA and NBA just basically at the top? Because yeah, if you want to find success with sports games as an indie, those are definitely quite tricky. So definitely would not be a genre that I would recommend, just because, again, the whole thing is dominated by those top AAA titles, FIFAs, the NBAs. So yeah, for indie developers, I would definitely not recommend you chase this genre. Even though looking at this, it does seem like a good genre, but personally, I would say probably not. So yeah, these small dots, I would say that does not mean that this genre is unsaturated. I would say it just means that players only want to play the top games and don't want to play anything else. So that is why this one doesn't have quite a lot of things. Then over here, we've got this one quite nice, quite big, and this one is roguelike shooters, bullet hell, action, horde survival. Okay, so kind of like Megabonk. So that is interesting. That is definitely an interesting genre. All right, okay. Rocket League or Mario Sports, do sports different. Okay, so that could be. So if you're going indie for sports, you kind of do need that. You need a very interesting twist, which is going to be very difficult because players usually want something that is familiar. Whereas if you go for sports, you are intentionally going to need to be very unfamiliar. You're going to have to give it a very different, very unique twist. So that is going to be, honestly, it's a high risk, high reward strategy, which personally I would not recommend. This is because me personally, I'm very much risk averse. So yeah, I would not recommend that strategy. But I guess if you want one of those, basically go big or go home, then I guess maybe sports could be that. But yeah, personally, I would not quite recommend it. Yeah. Then you've got tower defense, strategy, roguelike, upgrade, waves. Okay, so that one is interesting. Definitely seems to have quite a few, not necessarily insanely high saturation. Okay, so yeah, definitely this is a very interesting graph with a lot of data. It definitely shows which genres are hot. Although, again, you definitely shouldn't just look at this and be, like for example here, hidden object, puzzle, adventure. I would not recommend you make games on this. So this, I would say, is probably representative of a few things that do find quite a lot of success as opposed to just in general, many people finding quite a lot of success. So I would say this is probably not a hot genre. For the visual novel side, if you want to make not safe for work games, that can be a hot genre, so that one can be good. Over here, idle games, I would say this one is a hot genre. If anything, I'm actually surprised that I'm not really seeing the simulator genre over here. Yeah, there's sports simulator and something, so I'm actually interesting. I wonder if that is perhaps because simulator genre is very much based on theme, and I guess different themes will have different subgenres, so everything doesn't quite accumulate around one common genre. So I'd say that is probably why. Because yeah, the simulator genre is definitely something that I would say it is definitely quite a hot genre nowadays. So that is definitely a genre that I would recommend. But yeah, definitely quite interesting. So yeah, this one definitely quite a bunch of interesting takeaways from all of this data. But like the original developer, they are not an analyst, so I don't know what conclusions to draw. So based on this, yeah. So I'm asking what do the saturated areas mean? That include games that released. Okay, this tool. This is all games on Steam. Okay, so not necessarily based on games that are they are just recent. Meaning, if you have a game that reached 6 figures in revenue in the last 12 months, that matters quite a lot more as opposed to something that reached 6 figures in revenue 10 years ago. Because Steam and the Steam meta was very different all those years ago as opposed to now. So yeah, that is interesting. Yeah. So that would probably explain some slightly strange behavior in this data. Like for example, over here, you've got Metroidvania. That one is apparently a slightly hot genre based on this, whereas it's definitely not a genre that I would recommend. So, but yeah, if over here you've got basically Hollow Knight and all of those, which did make millions upon millions of dollars, then I do think that makes quite a bit more sense. So yeah, based on this description, how it's not just things from the last 12 months, yeah, based on that, I do think does make quite a bit of success. Yeah. I feel like Metroidvania platformers must have been skewed by recent big release. I would say definitely not recent, just things from like all those years ago making tons of money. But yeah, definitely not a hot genre nowadays. So yeah, it is definitely quite an interesting map, which kind of goes to show the importance of genre, because you can definitely see how some genres do quite a lot better than other genres. I would just like to see all these that are cold spots, because it is equally important to know what are the hot genres, so you know what games to make, but it's also equally important to know what games not to make, so you can basically avoid those, so you can basically not mess yourself up. So yeah, those are definitely some interesting stats, but yeah, based on those, definitely quite interesting.